Good afternoon. This is welcome to Born Again
Good
Africa,
afternoon.
God of Social, and this is a Born Again African Real Repatriation consultation. And we are welcoming our sister Nancy Aidoo, the creator of the WhatsApp group African Diaspora Love and Dating. I'm joined with my co-host, that's my wife Jeanette Muhammad. And Nancy, let's maybe reintroduce ourselves and reintroduce you so that we know a little bit about what we're coming to discuss. Let me first introduce the topic. We are coming to discuss African diaspora relationships. And we specifically want to hear from the Indigenous African women, specifically Ghanaian sisters, about their experiences dating men from the diaspora, as well as dating men in Ghana, and maybe kind of do some juxtaposing and see how best we can cultivate these type of relationships going forward so that they all have success. Um, Sister Nancy, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How's the family?
Oh, fine. 9 years.
They are doing well.
Thank God.
Okay, Nancy, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself again?
Oh, yes. I'm Nancy Aidoo. I'm the creator of African Diaspora relationship dating and love on WhatsApp group, and also have our own Facebook group on Facebook. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, so the words aren't coming out well. So yeah, so that is what I do for now. So I'm trying to promote African diaspora and African relationship. So yeah.
Well, thank you. How far with your group? Since our last uh, interview or discussion, has your group grown at all?
Yes, we have some people who have joined the group so far. They are not much though, but at least a little. Some have joined and the group is progressing. But what people do mostly is if they have questions, they try to send me a DM and I try to pull them through. Or when some have issues in their relationship, especially with an African, they tend to ask questions, which I try to, offer that service for free. We just talk about it and try to just put them into the right channel, the right um, pace or place for them to move ahead. And I think it makes sense for them to ask questions as to how to go about relationship with an African, which I love to do. It's a passion, especially when they come to me and ask questions about something, or they be like, oh, Nancy, a lady said this, what is she trying to say? I don't want to be rude, but I want to be able to understand, because when she said this, I tend to take it this way. So when I go over the chat, I try to break it down. Oh, she might say this, she might mean this. So what you do is ask her, what do you mean by this? Opposed to, are you saying this? There's a difference. You ask questions, what are you trying to say? Because this is what I thought you're saying, or you could mean otherwise. So when I try to put them through, and they tend to go back and do exactly what I tell them to do, they come back and be like, oh, you were right. I was actually thinking the other side. But meanwhile, this is what she was saying. You were right.
I don't mean
I'll be like, okay.
Are you getting your questions more from men or more from women?
From the men, from the African American men.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you continue on. I just was curious.
Okay.
I think there's a delay.
Yeah, there's a little delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sister Nancy, there's a little delay in our talking. So
You can continue.
Okay. So yeah, so that's it so far for me. So
That's very interesting. The questions that they from your group is generating questions. So men are, let's say, do you also get questions from women?
pardon me.
Do you also get questions from women about their relationship with a Ghanaian man?
No, honestly
Basically
speaking,
from,
no. It's basically from the men. But the African
Okay.
American women, to me, I feel they have their thing going for them. So maybe they don't need me, to ask questions. But for the men, I think they just want to know. But for the women, well, I wouldn't want to assume, but since they don't come to me to ask questions, I feel they are okay.
Okay. Okay.
okay,
Yes,
well, everybody with their own way of dealing with their own relationships.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
some of us are private. I can't speak for African American women either. And I hope in the
Mm-hmm.
near future, I'm planning also to do a platform with African American women to hear their perspective and also their experiences with dating Ghanaian men as well. But back to
Yes.
your
Okay.
questions that you've been receiving, roundabout way, maybe you can summarize one or two questions if they're easy for us to add to the questions that I had, the questions that some of the African American men have asked you about dating a Ghanaian woman or an African woman.
Oh, some of the the questions are actually many, but I'll try to remember some. Like Nancy. Okay, when a woman says, let me see. When a woman says, "I'll talk to you later," no. When a woman says, "I'll be right back," for example, that's the one I can remember for now. When a woman say, "I'll be right back," does it mean he's coming like now? Because the person I'm dealing with, she'll go for a long time, like for hours, and come back for like after 5 hours, 6 hours, and she'll be like, "Okay, I'm back." And he gets pissed off. Like, "I've been waiting on you. You said you will be right back." Being right back means you just want to quickly do something briefly and come
And
back
come back.
online. But you go offline for hours and come back, that's a no-no for him. You
Mm,
understand? Yes.
yeah.
So I try to make him understand that, well, it's communication. That is why I said you should be able to communicate and ask questions. It is normal
Yes.
for us here. When somebody say, "I'll be right back," give that person as many space as possible. When they are right back, they are back. But if you're not online as at the time they are right back, they are back, just leave a message you are busy too,
Yeah.
and give
Okay.
your own time when you, so that will make it mutual. She won't be offended because he says anytime he tells the lady, "I'll be right back," he's always back in time. Like within a minute to 5 minutes, he is back. But when this
Mm-hmm.
lady comes online, it takes hours, as if she's not going to come online. Like, so to him, he's seeing it as she's not interested. Meanwhile, she's
Okay.
busy. So what she should have said is, "Okay, can you give me like 2, 3 hours? I'm busy, just
Yeah.
say it the way it is. Don't say you'll be right back and go for hours and come back." Mm-mm. That doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how that could be problematic.
Yes.
We are very time-oriented people there, and it
Yeah,
really just
no.
sounds like simple communication. I'm coming is a common phrase here. Doesn't mean I'm coming right now.
Yes.
It
I'm coming.
means
I
I'm on
can
my
come.
way.
I can
Yeah.
come tomorrow.
So slight cultural
Then the,
differences.
then
Yeah.
the, then the second one. So then the second one is about the financial aspect, like the money part. The African American men believe when you're in a relationship with a woman, especially if you have not seen the woman, I am not like obliged or forced to give you anything. But to an African woman, immediately she is committed to the relationship, be it from far away, like long distance relationship. They don't see it as you are nearer to them or you have to be closer to them before they can ask you anything. It's been something that is so popular here, like it's so, it's like more or less like a trend here in Africa. So the African American don't understand why the women do that. So I try to make them understand that for them, it is what it is here, because we immediately we have a man in our lives, be it long distance relationship or close relationship, they want to just ask for stuff. And some women are smart that they won't ask you, I want to buy a phone, I want to buy a pen. No, they will complain. And when a woman is complaining about a particular stuff, it means I want this thing. Can you get it for me? She might not ask you directly, I want this, but she would complain. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if she complains and she is expecting the African American guy to say, okay, so do you really need that bad? Okay, how much is it? I'll get it for you. So when when the African American guy is not responding to that, complaint, it becomes a whole lot of issue. Like, oh, you are being insensitive, you are not caring, you're not this, it becomes a whole lot of problem. And the reason is, here in Africa, our men knows that when women complain, I don't have a pen, more than 3 times, she wants you to get it for her. That is why she's talking about it. Do you understand? So those areas, those areas are the areas I think we need to just talk about and let them get, the both parties, the both people, the Africans, the African Americans, get to understand that part. It doesn't mean most women as scammers. No. Some see you already as, I have a boyfriend already. But to the African American man, we are still building the relationship. I haven't seen you. I don't even know how you look like. It's just online. You see? So the African American believe when until they come over and see you in person and they see you are real, then okay, some of them would want to take up responsibility and be like, okay, she's my girlfriend, I can do anything. But still, some will be like, I don't even know if she's going to stay or laugh. So why should, I'm not even still married to you. So why should I be playing a part of a husband to you? Like, in the USA, we don't do that. But the economic system here in Africa is different compared to the US, because the US, most women over there are independent. They have their own business going for them. The economy is far much better. But here in Africa, even with the way the system is, the men provide, they are providers. They are providers. So even if a woman doesn't have a job, she can still get married because they know, yes, the man will take care of the bills and all that. So here they try to pressure the men to be hardworking than pressuring the women. So it is only those who are enlightened, the women who are enlightened, who go to school and try to upgrade themselves, to be independent. But normally, the African tradition is the men's responsibility to take care of a woman here. So the women here see the African American men as the same, like, okay, they are men too, they should be able to be providers. But they don't understand that there is a difference. Because from what a friend told me, an African American guy said, in the USA, A woman can come to your place without asking for anything. You can pay for her own cab, her own meal, her own everything. But in Ghana, reverse is the case. Reverse is the case. Like, it doesn't work that way. Sis, if I'm lying, say Nancy, you're lying, okay? Just cut me.
It's true. You just, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to add to. I want to add to what you already said. Like
Okay.
you said, whether it's short or long relationship, if you have been chatting with the lady for some time,
Exactly.
I think,
Mhm.
yeah, I think she kind of feel, like you said, she's committed. She
Exactly.
know I'm talking with somebody, and she can even not take anybody from here because she's already talking with somebody, and she's
Somebody, exactly.
yes, expecting the relationship to go far. Whenever,
Exactly.
anytime the man calm down, or so the person is expecting that. So if the person is in need of something, I think the person should help. But it's not something that they know. They are not aware. The volume is so high. They are not aware of that. I can hear myself.
Is that better?
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me, Sister Nancy?
I can hear you.
Okay. So as she's expecting, I'm hearing echo.
We are close.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You don't have to speak so loud because of the mic.
I just want to. So as she's expecting the relationship, no, it's disturbing me. To work, she won't go for anybody here. She'll be waiting for you. Yes, so
Exactly.
it will make the relationship better if you are supporting till you get here,
Exactly.
or till you meet the person in person.
Okay.
True.
Can you all hear me? Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah, but
It's kind of loud.
it's allowed.
Okay. Turn this thing down a little bit. All right. So I was having some technical difficulties, but what I gathered from what you were saying was online dating is a challenge in itself. And from my own personal experience, unless I meet you in person, we're just playing on the internet to some extent. And I don't know how, if that's insensitive or not, but when you're online, sometimes people are not who they say they are. So you kind of take it, not necessarily that you take it with a grain of salt, but you really want to validate the things that they're saying so that you also can let your guard down and also show the person your genuine self. And dealing in these type of long distance relationships, it's very challenging. It's not everybody that can up and come to, Ghana just like that 3-4 times out of the year. So it takes some planning and execution, patience, and a sense of humor, and extra patience and more patience on top of that, in order for long distance relationships to really have an opportunity to work. But and that's kind of how the service that we created, the background checks for people involved in these type of relationships, because they also are curious and are guarded about their feelings, so that when they meet somebody and they're ready to go to the next stage of the relationship, I want to know Nancy Aidoo is really a student. I really want to know if she is who she says she is.
Yeah.
So those, before I can now take her seriously. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but men tend to seem to have their hearts broken, and we sometimes hurt more than women. It sometimes appears to be that men, so when we are having experience of having a bad relationship, and maybe left a bad taste in our mouths, then we become even more guarded. And I can honestly say for probably a lot of brothers that meet women in the African diaspora, they have come there probably because they have been failing in other relationships in their own community. So they may already be guarded with their feelings, trying to, involve themselves in a long distance relationship with a person they not, with just a profile picture. Maybe they're not even having a conversation like we are with this stream, video chatting and that sort of thing. Which is something you want to
Well,
say?
yes, that is why I said when it comes to the long distance relationship, you as a person, you should be able to know what you want in a woman, first of all. So when you are dealing with an African woman or you make your own background research before you come online to say, okay, I want an African woman. So as a man, let's put the traditional, the cultural values and everything, the differences, let's put that aside. As a man, you know what you want in a woman. So when you're chatting with a woman, you should be able to identify who is real and who is fake. You understand? Like, for instance, if I'm a man, I wouldn't want a woman who dress provocatively, like, open up some parts, some dresses, some body parts. That is personal, right? We have men who like women who dress to show off their body parts. That is different interest. I am not a man, but I'm just trying to set an example. So if you are talking to a lady who shows off her body parts, well, I'm not going to say she's fake, but first of all, both of you might not even get along. You might not even last 1 week because you might not even like what she's wearing. Do you understand? Then the African woman too, if she's chatting an African American man and he has a tattoo, she might not like it. I am not saying not all African women dislike men that has tattoo. Please. What I'm saying is, it's just an example. I'm just stating some individual differences. What I like might be different from what you like. So that's what I'm saying, that you should be able to identify what you want in a woman, first of all. So when you meet her and ask her questions as to what you would like, just state your own questions, find a paper or a pen, just write it down. Your questions. If she gets 3 out of 5, you can go ahead. If she gets all the 5, but if she gets 2 out of 5, 1 out of 5, let her go. You will see another person. So this is where the issue arises. So if you want to be able to identify fake and a real person, time will tell. Just study, take your time to know if she is real or she is fake. And the same thing goes to the African American men. Some African American men are, what do they call them? There is a name they call them. Those sex mongers. Yeah, I think they call them sex mongers. Yeah, those who travel for sex.
Okay, sex tourism, sex tourists.
Exactly. Okay, sex tourists. Yeah, somebody called them sex mongers. So I tend to use that word. Sorry. So me as a person, I've come in contact with people like that, and I know these ones are not. They are not my kind of person. As an African woman, they are not my type, so I won't deal with you. Do you understand? So just the same thing I'm saying, when you spot a fake person in Africa, you should be able to spot the African woman, or the African man should be able to spot the fake over there in yes. Because you get to find some African American men that will start telling you, can you show me your boobs? Just 1 week. It's not, sometimes the one that even spoke to me was not up to a week. I think it's just 2 days.
Yes, I can see how that behavior
can you show me
is prevalent online. You know that
sorry,
I often see women make those complaints. No problem. I've also seen that in a lot of dialogue online where sisters across the board, women across the board, make this complaint that men often are very aggressive, you know, in the DMs. So people can ask you, oh, you know, show me your breath, you know, after the 1 hour, you know, and
Exactly.
as you well stated about how one's character can be judged by how they're dressed. And you know, in the U.S., it's not always like that. Some people, they seem to think just because you dress provocative doesn't necessarily mean that you are selling yourself. And that's not necessarily the case across the African continent. You know, for brothers that don't know, let me express that typically African women are modest in the way they dress. You know, a lot of women that wear African cloth, which covers themselves very well. At the same time, you know, you have slave queens, and this is a new, I don't know if it's a new phenomenon, but these young women, or let's say you have the women in the city versus the women in the village. You know, you have some women in the city, they are trying to be like, I want to use somebody, popular artist, somebody like Miss B, what's her name?
Miss Bell. Miss Bell.
Miss Bell. Yes, Miss Bell is a type of character who is kind of provocative. You know, so she's not the representative of the Ghanaian brand of woman. I would say she's not a typical Ghanaian woman, but maybe you have, even there's no real typical Ghanaian women, but as you stated well earlier, everybody kind of with their own individual. But a lot of, I would say on average, the Ghanaian woman dresses modestly, and also tattoos are not a big thing in Ghana. I'm only recently hearing or seeing uh, Ghanaian men with tattoos. You know, I don't know if it's a new phenomenon as well, but you know, it's now before I see brothers here with some tattoos, and they even showing, you know, where in the United States maybe it became a fad type deal about 20 years ago. And then you know, women also begin to get a lot of tattoos as well. And you know, you'd be hard pressed to find a Ghanaian woman here with tattoos across her chest, back, breast, stomach, and hip. You know, that's very unlikely to find. You know, to find here. You know, but when you juxtapose that against African American women, you know, it's now becoming a commonplace thing. So, you know, when, as you're stating, when as a man, you should know what you're looking for in a woman, you know, before you get to the cultural challenges. At the very least, you know, she should be this tall, her complexion like this, you know, some of these, I don't want to say superficial, but physical attraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you can get to, she should have this level of education, she should come from this type of family, and that sort of thing. You know, and some of us, we never really had that opportunity to search for a mate in that kind of way. So, you know, you just kind of looking for love and you find somebody. You know, sometimes it's like that. We're online now, you can go through somebody's profile and these things will be there. Whether you can know if it's true or not is based on your own judgment, you know, but you have to take time to kind of go in and make the dialogue. You can kind of discern whether the person is a real or fake. And that takes time, you know. You can learn about somebody's character over time. It's not something you're going to find out in a couple of days. If a man is asking you to show you his breast or your private parts after 1 hour, 2 hours, 2 days, it's likely his
to me that is a red flag. Like, I'm like, you're not in my lane.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
he's not serious about going.
The person is only interested in that.
Yes. Yes. You know, and that is a lot. You know, you said something in our last interview where you kind of corrected me when you was explaining how in relationships, in marriages, men and women solve their issues in the bedroom. And I said, oh, you mean with sex? And you said, no, making love.
I can,
you know, and
wait,
that's a great
hold on.
distinction.
I can hardly hear you. The volume is a bit low. I can hardly hear you.
Let me move the mic closer. What I said was in our last dialogue, in our last interview. Is this better?
A bit.
Let's see if I can turn it up a little bit more. Okay. All right, then I'll try to speak up. What I said was, you know, in our last interview, you spoke about a conflict resolution in a typical African marriage. And that would be, you know, when a husband and wife are fighting, you know, it's not in the street. You know, the issue will be solved in the bedroom. And, you know, I said, do you mean sex? And you said, no, you mean making love. And I said, you know, that is a key distinction because a lot of us now are sex forward. You know, we want to see, somebody wants to see your breast. Wants, you know, all the things online today with the, you know, instant pornograph material is always online, and people are, you know, I think from my generation, a lot of us are into those sorts of things, you know, so then we begin to be sex forward and not trying to develop a love relationship.
Did you ask the question? Because honestly,
No.
I could hardly hear you.
The delay. Yeah. There's a delay.
There's a delay. Uh-huh. Can you repeat it, maybe?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's a bit far. It's as if it's far away or something.
Try to turn yours up, and I'll turn mine down. Even she went off.
Oh, okay.
So, even I need to put my phone on charge. Excuse me one second. Cyril, bring me the charger. I want to plug my phone.
She's not back in.
Okay, maybe she had an issue with her.
Yes, it can be the network problem too.
Yeah, the network is well. Bring the extension board if it's there. Excuse me.
It has to be longer.
It has to be longer. Bring it with the TV.
We are having a small challenge, and we are working on it to come back.
And thank you all for joining us. I see we have some guests and viewers. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay.
Okay, she's back.
Thank you all. There you are, Nancy. Can you hear us a little bit better?
No. Sister Nancy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly now.
It's a little.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I think it can be the network.
Can you ask her the question again? I'm trying to.
I don't relate it.
Okay. Yeah, my question was, it wasn't even a question, it was more of a comment about how sometimes we confuse sex and lovemaking. You know, and many of us begin to push into sex before we get to the love. You know, and I think that's a big part of, even in Ghana, it's quite common to meet somebody and person can express their love for you also in a couple of days. A woman can tell you, I love you, and with I love you eyes. But and I would say our experience in the U.S., we are very much guarded against that phrase. We don't even share that phrase, openly unless that love is kind of developed. So I'm speaking from my own experience. When a woman can tell me that.
Oh, I guess it's all okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I understand what he's saying about that. But the thing is, we we Africans, we quickly express our affection.
Yes.
We express, yes, how we feel. Immediately you start liking the person, you want to tell the person immediately that you love them. But I guess over there, it takes time. They need to get to know you well before they can express that word, before they can tell you, I love you. But here in Africa, within a week or two, a month, they like you, they start telling you, I love you. And it's not a crime here. It doesn't mean the person doesn't like you. It doesn't mean the person doesn't love you. Or it doesn't mean the person is faking it. The person is just telling you how he or she feels. So it's a different thing. It's a different thing here. When an African tell you, I love you, they might mean it. Yes, they might mean it. They follow the emotions as fast as possible, like as fast as it comes to them, they tell you. But from the States, it's like it takes time before they express the word. But because I've heard people come up with that case too, saying that, oh, we just met and you are talking about love and you say you love me. That can't be true. It could be true. It could be true. The person loves you. So for you not to take it serious that because it was early doesn't mean they don't mean it. That is the difference. We express our love as it comes. We speak our mind fast. We say it the way it is.
Let me add to this. In Ghana, if you take somebody number, maybe for the first day, maybe the person say, oh, let me have your number. You gave your number out. Maybe he call you in the evening. Oh, I'm the one who took your number. Oh, how are you doing? After finish talking, the person can say, I love you.
I love you. Exactly.
Yes. And you can say, oh, I love you too. So it's like kind of a common thing.
It's a normal thing, yeah.
Yes, I love you. I love you too.
That's what I was saying. It doesn't necessarily have the same connotation. When we, watching all these romance movies and these things like that, you begin to think of love as bending the knee in marriage. You see, so that's how we kind of see it there. So we want to take it a lot slower. So when somebody expresses that kind of love in the first few minutes, those are red flags for us. Now before you start saying, hey man, this person's trying to play me, take advantage of my feelings or something like that. So we become defensive. Then that immediately a wall will come up. This person trying to play me. Oh, you love me? Is that right? You don't even know you don't even know much about me for you to say you love me. You know what I'm saying? I think, and I really think it is. I love you more like means I like being with you. I like where the relationship can go. We're having all kind of technical problems here today. Let's be a little patience with us and see if it can also pick back up. Sorry, Nancy. Technical challenges, of course, normal with this type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as we were just, as you were saying, Jane, I'm sorry.
I think she was saying something.
Nancy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
We have some guests inside, so it's a little loud, small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
just
the
like
expression of,
just like what Sister Janet said is true. Somebody can collect your number today, call you, tell you I love you at the end of the conversation, and the lady reply, I love you. It's no crime here. It's no crime.
very
Like
common.
it's a
It
normal
doesn't
thing.
mean you're coming to start to have a family, right? It doesn't mean
No,
you're
no,
ready to start a family.
oh no. The relationship will actually start from where it's supposed to start from.
It's okay. Let
It's
me.
still
The phone. Okay. It's not here too.
Okay.
so it's still the same, it's still the same process.
Sorry.
I
Sorry.
mean,
We're also managing a restaurant here too.
so it's still the same process. So that is why I'm saying everybody with their cultural difference. So when you're speaking to an African, you should know, okay, I'm sure this person is speaking from their own way of style, their own way of doing their things. And if you don't understand it, you should. That is why I said you ask questions. You don't assume and get offended. You ask questions. Just make what I'm saying. Oh, I'm saying I love you because I'm trying to express the way I feel to you.
Yeah.
That is how I see it. That shouldn't be an avenue to want to quit or say, oh, she's lying or he's lying or he just want to scam me. No, no, no. Most or majority mean it. It is what it is here. Because when they tell
Yeah.
an African woman, I love you, we take it. Except if the woman doesn't like the guy or the guy doesn't like the woman. That's a different case. If I don't like the guy, I can't tell you I love you. I will tell you, give me time and I love you. But let's see how it goes. Or if you tell me I love you, I'll tell you thank you, but let's see how it goes. I don't need to get offended. The person just spoke the way he or she feels. So that is
Yeah.
it.
Even
For
I don't know. I don't know whether you are aware of this, but it's not even necessary that the person even took your number. Sometimes maybe the guy is passing, or maybe you are selling, and the person wants to buy. So, oh, I love you. It can just come on like that. No, you
yes,
knowing the person for the first time, just that moment, the person can say that it's something that I think not only
yes,
Ghanaians
yes.
alone, but any other African countries, I think we also do the same thing.
There is a couple that got married at Kumasi last week.
Okay.
That was how it started. The lady was just passing by. The guy saw the lady's physique, that the lady has got a nice shape, and he fell in love with the lady immediately. From then, he went to he went to express himself to the lady. I love you. I want to marry you. The lady was like, "Are you okay? You just met me for the first time." I
Yes.
said, "Yes, I like you," and I said, "I want you to be my wife." The lady thought the guy was joking until he collected the number and they kept in touch. They kept talking. They kept seeing each other, and they got married last week Saturday at Kumasi.
Wow. Is it that's one?
No, they are Ghanaians.
They are Ghanaian. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Communication was quite easy that way.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes.
then let me ask you this. Last time you said that we need to take two courses. You should take a course on me and I should take a course on you. What would you
Yes.
suggest that course outline look like?
I don't, the course outline, honestly, the both party for the first, second month should study each other's cultural differences. I know yours, you know mine. Today we talk about your own cultural values and traditions. Tomorrow we talk about mine. We talk about yours the next day. We talk about, so we take it a step at a time. Okay, today let's talk about you. That's what I do. You know what? Today let's talk about you. Enough of me. Let's talk about you. Okay, shoot your questions. Then I start asking you questions. So when we are done or we are tired of it, the next day we continue. One thing I know for sure is if two people are really serious in the relationship, that is not it. That shouldn't be a trouble. That shouldn't be an issue at all. We study each other. You ask me my likes and dislikes. You ask me, okay, when I say this to you, how do you see it? How do you view? What am I trying to say when I say this? It becomes a lecture ground. It becomes a lecture class, a lecture ground. You are learning. It's a learning process between the two people. We are learning. You ask me a question, I might even tell you things about my country when it comes to relationship issues, how it's being done. Then you can say, really? Oh, okay, from my own side, this is what we do. This is what we do. So you've taken note of the woman's point of view about our cultural part and traditions. The lady is also taking note of yours. Should be mutual, should be free, communicate. In that way, gradually, there will be an automatic chemistry between the two people, no matter the distance. So, two serious-minded adults who wants to be in a relationship, starting from distant relationship, you should be able to be open and communicate easily. Like I do say every day, and I'll keep saying it, ask questions, don't assume, please. Ask questions, don't assume. Ask questions from anything you need to know about the guy, ask. Anything you need to know about the lady, ask. But some of our people, I know them, they are too straightforward to want to say I love you and all that. But when it comes to things like this, a diaspora, like the African Americans, you need to take it slow by asking questions. I think we need to let them know that, so that it won't be as if the African Americans are learning the African ways and traditions, but you are not studying them too. So the two have to work hand in hand to make the relationship work. Communication, don't assume, ask questions. So that's it for me.
So let me ask you this: do you think it's a good idea to do a background check on your if you are talking to somebody? Do you think it's good to do a background check on that person, even if you didn't see each other, you never see each other in person? Is it?
Yes.
So can you advise them
Yes.
to do that?
Oh yes, I can. For the people who are serious, the serious-minded ones, I'll keep emphasizing on it. The serious-minded ones definitely would want to do background checks. And it's so advisable that they should do it. It's very, very vital. I myself would want to do one. So it is advisable. That will give them a go ahead and be like, okay, I don't have to see this person as a scammer. I don't have to see this person as fake. That will put their mind to rest. So the background check is very, very, very vital. So yes, they should do it.
Right.
At least that will help limit the scam. The scammers, will put them off check and all that, put them off the way, so we can see who is who and who is real. So the background check is very vital. Yes.
I think that's if they are serious. They are serious to take the relationship far.
Yes, it's vital. See, what I know is, if you want to invest in something, you need to do your background checks, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you need to do your survey. You need to do your case study, whatever. So on this one, the background check of that person you chatted is vital. Yes. That will keep your mind at rest that I am dealing with somebody who is legit and not a fake person. Yes, so it's important. It's important.
Well, let me ask you this, because background checks is not something commonly done in Ghana in the sense of a criminal background check. How, as a sister here, you know, do you vet, let's say you are dealing with a Ghanaian brother, how do you vet that brother?
Sister Nancy, if you can hear us. So,
Still recording, maybe she's having an issue. Well, Nancy slipped off, but let's see, give her a little bit more patience. We've been having a real tough time here with this link today. So let's see if we can let her come back, and then the way it's going to look like we have to do a third part. But we're not getting to every detail that we want to. Let's see if she'll be able to come back in a few minutes.
yes, and I think we were talking about background check. It's very necessary to check on your partner, before you go far in a relationship. It's very vital to do that.
So let me ask you, Jay. When I was courting my wife, uh, we were discussing it after we were married. But when I established a business in the town, and that time my mother was alive, and she and I were working and developing the business. And then a sister friend of ours came to visit us. Around that time is when I started kind of courting my wife. And one day we were walking. I was walking with her through the town, and a friend of mine was with me, Kojo, before Jeanette just blurted out, "Is that your wife?" And I was like, "Hey," it kind of caught me off guard, but I was like, "Oh no, that's not my wife." And I didn't answer. I think it was Kojo who answered her and explained who my mother was and who Sister Cora was, who was visiting us at that time. So it was, you know, just maybe Jane, you can speak to that.
People talk. You hear from the street, and you also want to know about the man you want to date. That time, we don't have anything at all. We are just talking and trying to like each other. But I also want to know what I'm going into. So a friend of mine told me, so I've been seeing him in a car with a woman. I said, okay, if that would be the case, okay, maybe I may ask him, because if he's drawing close to me, and I need to know if he's married or not. So before I said, oh, I learned you are married, but you are still talking to me, but I learned you are married. I said it like that. Then the friend rather came in and said, no, that's the sister. This is the mother. And that was the first day he sent me to introduce me to the mother and the sister. So something like that, you have to know. Maybe he too can feel or heard something. It's better you ask.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even when I was courting Jane, and I felt it was getting serious, I then began to ask people in the community if they knew who she was. I started with her surname. Do you know Jeanette Agmano? And then the one brother, a friend that I asked, he says, oh, there's two sets of Agmanos. One is witches and one is okay. You let me go and check out which one it is for you. I kind of laughed to myself as well. I was like, oh, okay, well, definitely I want to know if she's a witch. Or she, so, it kind of came out like that. And before the brother came in and was like, yeah, not only one person, I asked multiple people, because, this is a small community, and I also want to know what I'm getting involved in, and if it's somebody that after whatever with the wrong intentions with me, I also want to know. So I then begin to ask those questions, and respectfully so, the people begin to also enlighten me. So background checks is something I think even after that, it wasn't long before I came in and asked Jeanette to marry me. Because my mind had gotten to the point that I wanted to be married. Nancy, you're welcome back. You're welcome back.
Thank you.
We haven't all type of issues today. Don't worry about it. But fine. We were just telling our little story about how Jane and I did a little background check on each other. In our courting phase. We can tell the story again a little bit. Go ahead, Jenny.
Yeah, we were, whilst you are not here, we were discussing how the first time I met him, we were friends, and a friend of mine told me, oh, that man, he had been riding with a woman in his car. So one day he called me, he said to see me. So I came around and he was there with a friend. So I said, I learned you are married. Then a friend jumped in and said, no, that's not he's not married. That's the mother and the sister. Can you hear? Yes. So that very day, he took me to introduce me to the mother and the sister. So it kind of I was relieved because I don't want to go into relationship that maybe I fall in love and maybe the person is already married, So that doing that or asking that kind of question, I was relieved. So doing a background check on somebody you are talking to or somebody you want to be in relationship with, I think it's a good idea.
And I also asked questions about Jeanette in the community, the people, friends that I had, the relationships that I had developed here in the local community. Jeanette's from the area. So the people began, I just was like, do you know this woman, Jeanette Agmanyo? And they was like, yes. Then there's 2 Agmanyos. All right, well, let me go and do a research. Then they came back and brought me back feedback. Before I then would ask somebody else, they would bring me back a different feedback. And I would kind of, through my own summation, come to the conclusion that she's a good person. She's a good character. Then I eventually went to her house and met her mother and the rest of her family. She invited me to her house and gave me food. That's when I made the big error. She invited me to her home and prepared food for me and my friend. And I left. And I didn't leave any money. And I was like, and when we talked last time, I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I mean, I really felt bad. Because I thought it was just her, I just really thought she just wanted to be, express her feelings to me. I had no idea, thinking about her economics, that was awful, and that's a real jewel you gave to us on our last discussion, about how, these little small nuances are big, because it's a real education gap, a real gap that we have to close in order for these relationships to get a change. It seemed like you wanted to chime in.
Can you hear? We can barely hear you.
The audio is kind of not good. How's that? Maybe you speak so we can hear you. Wow. Okay, I think what we do is maybe we have to record it offline and then share it. Maybe that would be best. And then because this is a very bad recording that we're doing here. But you can't hear us at all. Your audio is very poor, so we can't hear you when you speak. It's very. I don't know if something can be done on your side. Okay, then what we can do is, should we wrap it or maybe the network is really disturbing us here. So maybe what we do is we wrap and then we record another one and upload that, if that would be fine with you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then let us close this one out. And Nancy, thank you for right now, and we'll see you shortly. And thank everybody for joining us. We apologize for all the issues here. We pray that we have a better recording so that we can get this information out. So we wait by the Sister Nancy. So long, Sister. And thank you, everybody.
Bye.